Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to discuss exercise 2.2, question number 1. So let's see how this is being done. Find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomial and verify the relationship between zeros and coefficients. In the previous video, we have already discussed what is known as zero of a polynomial, so I'm not going to discuss it anymore. We'll just use some methods on finding the zero of a given polynomial. Now this is your given polynomial. Here in this polynomial the variable is x, so this is a polynomial in x. So I'm going to denote this polynomial by px. So your px is x squared minus 2x minus 8. Now this is a quadratic polynomial. As you can see, this is a quadratic polynomial. Now we can solve a quadratic polynomial by the method of splitting the middle term. So you have studied already splitting the middle term in classes 8 and 9. Okay, the same concept here. Now in order to solve this polynomial, first we will equate it to 0. So let this polynomial be equal to 0. So we are going to solve it by the method of splitting the middle term. Now what we have to do is, you have to know the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. We have to know the coefficient of x, which is minus 2. And we need to know the constant term, which is minus 8. Okay? So what do we have to do is, we multiply the coefficient of x squared and the constant term. Coefficient of x squared is 1, the constant term is minus 8. If you multiply, you get minus 8. Now we need to factorize this minus 8, okay, into two numbers whose sum or difference should give you the middle term minus 2. Minus 2. Okay, we need to factorize this number into two numbers, okay? We have to factorize this minus 8 into two numbers whose sum or difference should give you the middle term minus 2. So let us factorize 8. Oh, this is minus 8, but you can leave negative sign, and let us factorize 8 here. 2, 4 times is 8. 2, 4 times is 8. Now, the sum of this 4 and 2 should give you the middle term minus 2. So I'm going to leave this x squared as it is, okay, as it is. Now, how are you going to arrange this 4 and 2 such that their sum will give you minus 2? If I write 4 minus 2, then this algebraic sum gives you only 2. But we need the algebraic sum to be minus 2. We need, the middle term is minus 2, so we need the algebraic sum to be minus 2. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write here minus 4, and I'm going to write here plus 2. Minus 4 plus 2 gives you minus 2, which gives you middle term. And also, their product should give you this particular term. Minus 4 times 2 is minus 8. Alright? Yes. So instead of this minus 2x, the middle term, I'm going to write it as minus 4x plus 2x. So the middle term minus 2x has been split into two parts. So splitting the middle term. And then what we have is minus 8 and then equal to 0. So see, minus 4x plus 2x will give you minus 2x. Okay, and then their product will give you minus 8. Now, so we have 4 terms. You can make them into pairs. You can make them into pairs. From the first pair, we have x as common. So we take x common. From x squared, if we take x common, we have only 1x. From 4x, if we take x as common, we have only 4. This is positive, so we write positive. If it is negative, you write negative. From the remaining pair, we have 2 common. So if you take 2 common from 2x, if you take 2, we have x. From 8, if you take 2 common, then 2 4 times is 8. Now again, the terms in the bracket are equal. The terms in the bracket are equal, so we can take common. We can take common of the terms in the bracket. Okay, here x minus 4. Here in this term we have x minus 4 in the bracket. In this term also we have x minus 4 in the bracket, so we can take x minus 4 as common. Then from this term, since we have taken x minus 4 as common, we have only x here, and then plus from this term we have taken x minus 4 as common, so we have 2. So what do we get? Product of two terms is 0. Product of two terms is 0 means either your first term is 0 or your second term is 0. This gives you x as plus 4, and this gives you x as minus 2. So the values of x are 4 and minus 2. So these values of x are known as the zeros of the given polynomial. Therefore, your zeros are 4 and minus 2. 4 and minus 2. So 4 and minus 2 are the zeros of your polynomial. Now, since we have obtained the zeros, now we will verify the relationship between zeros and coefficients. Now, how to work that out? Let's see. Since we have obtained the zeros, so I'm going to find out their sum. This 4 and minus 2 are the zeros. So I'm going to find out the sum of these two zeros. So I'm going to write here sum of zeros. Okay, we have obtained the zeros. I'm going to find their sum. So I'm writing sum of zeros. Sum of zeros means you add up your two zeros. First 0 plus second 0. 4 plus minus minus 2. 4 minus 2. Alright? And I'm going to find their product. These are your zeros. I'm going to find their product. So we can write product of zeros. Product of zeros. So you multiply your zeros. 4 into minus 2 gives you minus 0. So we have obtained the sum of zeros, product of zeros, only after determining the zeros. Okay? But without even determining the zeros, just by knowing your polynomial, okay, without knowing the zeros, just by looking at the polynomial, just by knowing the polynomial, we can also find the sum of zeros and product of zeros. Let's see how. There is a small formula that you need to remember. See, we have obtained sum of zeros here, product of zeros here, only after determining the zeros, right? But without determining the zeros, knowing the polynomial also, we can find the sum of zeros and product of zeros. So the formula for determining the sum of zeros is minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x squared. So this is the formula for determining the sum of the zeros even without knowing the zeros. Now let's see this negative sign as it is. Okay. Now coefficient of x, this is your polynomial. This is your polynomial. The coefficient of x here is minus 2. So I'm going to write coefficient of x as minus 2 upon coefficient of x squared. If this is your polynomial, the coefficient of x squared is 1. Okay? The numerical value present with x squared is 1 here. So the coefficient of x squared is 1. Now minus minus is plus, so plus 2 upon 1, which is equal to 2. So the sum of the zeros obtained here and the sum of the zeros obtained here are equal, hence verified. Similarly, for the product, there is a formula for determining the product of zeros. The formula for determining the product of zeros is constant term upon coefficient of x squared. Now as we look at the polynomial, your constant term is -8 and the coefficient of x squared is 1. So -8 upon 1, which is equal to -8. So the product of the zeros obtained here and the product of the zeros obtained here are equal, hence your solution has been verified. Okay? Yes. We can copy it down.